18. Other components. Plastic tray. Thickness. Notice number 1. The plastic tray sample is usually thicker than that of mass production because only one mold applies in pre-production. The plastic sheet is not stretched around, which allows the sample to retain a larger thickness. In mass production, more than 6 molds will be applied at the same time. The adjacent die stretches and consumes the same material between, and its fluidity is thicker than a single mold, which results in the thickness of the plastic tray being thinner than the sample. Please evaluate the durability of the sample if you are demanding about the thickness and stiffness of the finished product. If necessary, you may request to increase the thickness of the raw materials to ensure quality. However, cost will increase accordingly. Notice number 2. When a small quantity of samples are created in pre-production, the pressure and the temperature of the machine cannot be optimized, which will result in a varied thickness of the plastic trays if you get several samples from us. This issue can be significantly reduced during mass production with the machines under stable operation, although it cannot be completely avoided. Surface quality. When the sample is created in pre-production, a resin mold is applied. The die-cut trace will be left on the mold surface during the CNC process, and this will also be left on the surface of the plastic tray. In mass production, a copper-plated or aluminum mold, please refer to the quotation sheet, will be applied. So this issue will be improved or potentially avoided as the mold surfaces will be polished. During pre-production, a plaster mold will be applied to the sample. The surface is softer, and its precision is comparatively poor, and as such, a grainy and uneven quality might occur. In mass production, copper-plated or aluminum mold, please refer to the quotation sheet, will be applied. So this issue will be improved or potentially avoided as those mold surfaces will be polished. Die cut precision. During pre-production, scissors or other cutting tools will be used on the plastic trays, which will lead to unevenness on the edges. In mass production, tailor-made die cutting tools will be used, which will give an even finish. See the picture below. Player mat. Not applicable. The material issue. The material is the same as the mass products. The color issue. The color of the pre-production sample is the same as the mass products. There will be color differences between pre-production samples and mass products. The pre-production sample is digitally printed, whereas the mass products are offset printed. This will cause the color difference. Varied printing methods will be applied for mass production, in accordance with the order quantity, the complexity of the patterns, and color quantity requirements. The size issue. The acceptable size tolerance is plus or minus 5 mm when its size is smaller than 500 mm. The acceptable size tolerance is plus or minus 10 mm when its size is greater than 500 mm. The material itself will be stretched during manufacturing. While heating it will also cause slight shrinkage. Both will cause the size to differ from that estimated. Round edge. Pre-production samples will have square corners, while mass products will have, at minimum, R2 round square corners will be naturally formed in the pre-production sample, as manual cutting is usually applied. Die punching will be used during mass production, and a natural round edge will be formed by the blade with a minimum R2 round corner as standard. Square corners cannot be made in this session. Please contact with the account manager if you have special requests for round corners. The round corner is the same for the pre-production sample and the mass product. 20. Wooden pieces. Wooden pieces. Not applicable. The material issue. 2 issues will inevitably occur as the wood is naturally formed. 1. There is a color difference in the wood texture. 2. The wood surface is not completely flat because of the grain, scarring, and pores. Note, due to trees needing to breathe. The color and texture will remain consistent when using the same material during a small quantity demand of pre-production samples. However, color and texture differences will exist in each package of the products when those pieces are from a different batch of raw materials during mass production, shown on the left. If the requested color is natural wood or the painted colors on top of the wood are light colors, yellow, light blue, pink, etc., the color difference can be influenced by the wood color. This defect is inevitable during mass production. If you have a strict request with the color difference, our recommendation is 1. Try to select a darker color, such as black, navy, or red, which can cover the color of the wood. 2. Change to the other materials, such as plastic. Not the same. The size issue. There will be a plus or minus 0.5 mm size difference. The differences are mainly due to 1. Some cutting processes are manually positioned, which cause tolerance. 2. Dehumidification will be applied in the production to avoid mildew. The size of the wood pieces will change after drying, which can lead to the expansion or offset of this difference. Painting color issue. The color difference is acceptable within the tolerance range. Note: due to the color differences among the raw wood materials, and that the roll-painted method is used on 95% of the wood pieces, generally 30 to 50,000 pieces, can be loaded into the roll machine in our factory. The color of the pre-production sample will be different from the mass products. The paint thickness of the sample is less than that of the mass products due to the small quantity of the samples. Normally, the color difference is E less than 5. The color tolerance is unacceptable under this range. Printing color issue. Due to the unevenness on the surface of the raw wood material, a silk screen or heat transfer print cannot fully cover the base color, and to some extent the color difference cannot be avoided. Color difference of laser cut. Actually, color difference of wood material. A color difference also occurs if the pattern is laser cut. The reason is the raw wood material itself. The color and the texture will remain consistent when using the same material for a small quantity demand of pre-production samples. However, a color and texture difference will exist in each package of the products when those pieces are made from a different batch of raw materials during mass production. UV printing. UV print is speedy and can be done with no tooling cost, which will finish the sample quicker. However, the print quality is not nice enough in terms of its fineness and color brightness. See picture on the left. Heat transfer print in mass production. UV print in mass production. Heat transfer printing. Pre-production sample with heat transfer printing. The sample is the same quality as that of mass production. However, an extra tooling cost will occur if the design is changed later or there are varied designs. Deviation of the printed pattern. Maximum 1.8 mm deviation in the printed pattern. Main reasons as below. 1. Some cutting processes are manually positioned which cause the tolerance. 2. Dehumidification will be applied in the production to avoid mildew. The size of the wood pieces will change after drying, which can lead to the expansion or offset of this difference. 3. All print on the wood pieces is positioned manually, thus deviation of the pattern may occur. In summary, these issues can be more easily identified in the mass production samples as they are produced in large quantities, whereas the quantity is small for pre-production samples.